Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gray?
Present.
Trustee Capra?
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Steve?
Present.
Trustee Matthew Trustee?
Present.
Trustee Fearing?
Present.
Mayor Rich?
Present. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Withers.
Yeah, Mayor would like to remove item 4 from the agenda.
We've already gone over it.
You need a first.
Well, we need a motion. Or we just,
I'll make a motion
You
to
need a
remove
motion.
item 1 or I4 from the agenda.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We have a recognition to the Oak Prairie Girls Relay Team recognition. Congratulations to the Oak Prairie 8th grade girls 4x400 meter relay for winning the state championship at the Illinois Elementary Association's Class AA State Track and Field Meet in East Peoria. The team took second place in 2017 and this year got the win with a time of 4 minutes 13.29 seconds. That's a little less than a mile, a little over 4 minutes. Now I'd like to recognize Oak Prairie's track and field coaches, James Fox, Eric Carlson, Ryan Billing, and Shelby Bevel for leading the team through the season in the state championship event. So if the coaches could please come up.
The other coaches couldn't make it today.
If you want to go by the podium, I'll be there in a second. Yes.
One floor, huh?
Okay. And now we recognize the entire team for their outstanding performance. We have a certificate for each team member. After receiving the certificate, please stay up here so we can do a group photo. I ask the audience to hold their cheers and applause until the team members are all up here. So Francesca Frieri, Lexi Fontaine, I screwed up the names, just tell me. Sammy Weisner, Abby Buds, and Caitlin Mitchell. We can give them to them now. Yep. Okay. If everyone could please give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. Nice job. You too. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2018 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
I'll second.
Gray. Tracy. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 9, 2018 village board meeting?
I so move.
Gabriel,
I'll second.
trustee Sweet, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Reports and communications from the mayor and her offices. Mayor's report. The Illinois Secretary of State's office will be hosting their mobile unit in Village's community room on Tuesday, June 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The following services will be offered: renewal or correction of driver's license, renewal or correction of state ID, license plate stickers, motor registration with renewal of a driver's license or state ID, organ donor registration with renewal of driver's license or state ID. Proper identification will be required for all services. Major credit card, debit cards, checks, money orders will be accepted. Cash is not accepted. Please call the Secretary of State's office at 1-800-252-8980 for more information. With that, we'll go to the trustees. We'll start out with trustee Gabriel.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm reporting on behalf of the Parade and Festival Committee. We do have 8 days until Homerfest begins, which is next Thursday. We're looking forward to a great festival again this year and a lot of participation from all of our volunteers. Always still looking for more volunteers, and you can call the Highway Road District for that. You can reach them at 708-301-0246 if you're interested in volunteering. You can check out the homerfest.com website for more information on the bands and various things that we're offering up this year. We'd like to thank all of our food vendors. We have Ruby Agave, Pelican Harry's, Davidson's, Cool Creations, Smokin' Z's Barbecue, and Pizza Mia. The bands each night will be entertaining, and don't forget fireworks night is on Thursday with a rain date, I think, of Friday, but we're going to look for a nice, clear, sunny Thursday. And also don't forget Special Needs Day is 2:30 to 4:30 for those with special needs, Homer residents with children with special needs. And that'll be 2:30 to 4:30 on Friday, which is the 22nd. So we look forward to getting you out there, and you can get the mega passes here at the Village Hall. You can contact the Village Hall at 708-301-0632. And again, we look forward to seeing you next week, and it should be an entertaining 4-day festival. That will conclude my report.
Thank you, trustee Gabriel. Trustee Sweet.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Sweet. Trustee Rogers.
No report.
Trustee Rogers. Trustee Barry.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Trustee Trey.
Thank you, Mayor. I am reporting on behalf of the Parks and Rec Committee. Heritage Park Phase 1 project update. Work is wrapping up on Phase 1 of Heritage Park project. The project will be substantially complete in the next week, weather permitting. Heritage Park 319 grant area project update. The Village Board will be considering a proposal for this project at tonight's meeting. This phase includes construction of stormwater, wetlands, bioswales, and rain gardens on the east portion of the Heritage Park as part of water quality improvement project for Run Creek watershed, funded in part through Section 319 funding from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. Work is expected to be substantially complete by September 30th. Heritage Park Active Core Area Project update. The bid opening for the Active Core Area of Heritage Park will be held on June 28th with an anticipated award of contract at the July 11th Village Board meeting. And the Chalk It Up event in celebration of National Parks and Recreational Month. The Parks and Recreation Committee is sponsoring Chalk It Up, the village's first sidewalk sidewalk chalk art competition on Saturday, July 14th at Stonebridge Park. In addition to a judged sidewalk chalk art competition among participants, there will be a number of featured artists on display. The event is free of charge. Please visit www.homerglenil.org to register. Space is limited, so register soon. Try to say that 3 times in a row. Yeah, it doesn't help that it says chirp.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Public Safety and Services Committee, we had a recent meeting, and the road commissioner informed us that his road repaving project is nearly complete for this year. I believe he said Friday, if weather was okay, we should be wrapped up, which should be on 51st Street, some other streets around the village. So I will confirm that with him as we had a discussion earlier. Some streets still aren't done. And I just wanted to mention that June is Pool Safety Month, and that's especially poignant this week as it was just recently reported that Bodie Miller, the U.S. skier's daughter, reaches 3 drowned in their swimming pool. And you know, those are things that I know that Joe Baber has put on the website, different pool safety precautions and how to keep your pool safe. And it really all comes down to that you just got to pay attention to your kids when they're involved. So. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Gray. One other thing, we sat down with IDOT for 159th Street. They're still on schedule for getting the road open both ways, 2 lanes, by the end of this year. Next year, they'll be Thanksgiving. So that's positive. That's what we're very impressed. This is public comment. Oh, wait. Treasurer's report.
No report.
Third.
No, sir.
Village attorney.
No report.
Public services.
Just real quick, Mayor, if I may.
Yes, you may.
I appreciate that. I just want to remind the public, now that schools are out especially, it's that time of year when kids are out, parents might not know where those kids are at and they're checking door handles on cars. We always see an uptick in burglaries and motor vehicles at this time of year. And what we've seen is most of the cars that we get reports for, the doors are unlocked. We haven't seen, thank goodness, where they break out a window with something. So just make sure your doors are locked. Try not to leave valuables in your vehicles, and especially nothing on the seats where they can see it. And just make sure the outside of your house is well lit. That's my report. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Next, we need village manager.
No report, Mayor.
We have public comment. We have 3 on the list. If we can keep it to around 4, First one up is Mike Byrd.
Excuse me. I'm also here with Rich Golden. I think
That's
next.
fine.
Yeah.
If you meet both of you at the same time, that's fine.
Yeah. We both have property on South Parker, and there's Rich actually lives there, and we purchased property there to build a future home. And at 17525, there is a business on the land. They are running a landscaping firm. And when we originally, I did at least, originally bought our land, we were told that there would never be any businesses run out of these pieces of property. Now I have probably for the last year and a half talked to people in the building department, the planning department, anybody I could talk to. And nobody has ever really given me an answer why on 5 acres of land, there's a building on the land that probably takes up 17% of the property. On 5 acres, they have 44 trees, and they're fully mature trees. And we've owned our land there for about 17 years. The land has never been farmed. So, and I know Rich has the same concerns. We don't want businesses being run out of these pieces of land. We don't know what to do. I've talked to you a handful of times. We've got no answers, no real answers. And the guy's still running a business. He's got backhoes, bulldozers. He's got materials. He's got paver bricks. He's got a stack of pallets, probably from sod. And, you know, his building is built for semi-trucks. The overhead doors are, I don't know, 20 feet tall. I don't know what they are. So, we're concerned.
These are agricultural zone properties, and what they have a tree farm at this on these 2 parcels there, correct, 2 parcels. And talking to gentlemen, they're not.
They're 2 different people.
Right, correct.
Only 2 different people.
Yeah, there's they're not actually running the businesses out of there, other than the tree business, the growing of trees. The other materials, I'll address that because those were supposed to be removed, the paver blocks.
Okay.
But they came in and we were informed that it's a tree farm basically. That's what they're doing there. The other gentleman with the larger building, he's using it for storage. He's not actually running a business per se out of there, but he's storing his vehicles in this barn.
But,
His business vehicles,
yeah,
not just for
business
vehicles.
vehicles, the
Right.
truck's a business semi. At 6:30 in the morning, these trucks are pulling out, but before they pull out, they load up with dirt, stone, whatever. The property does have large trees on it that are never going to be moved out. He did plant some small ones in the back because the building that we're talking about sits way in the back. I can be on my deck and I can see the mess. All it is piled up with pallets and other material. There is no, he is running a landscaping business out of there. Trucks are coming back in, dumping black dirt. That black dirt is picked up, put into the trucks in the morning, and then taken somewhere else. Now, I pay a lot of tax money, and I have to look at this. Yeah, it's not right for this guy to do that, you know?
I'll contact the property
What
owner.
was the address again, sir?
It's 17525.
I'll just add that Joe asked me about the property, they did not register with me, and we've been reconciling with the state business registrations over the last year to try to make sure we're up to date. They haven't registered with the state either.
Well, because if he's running a business out there, even if it's a tree farm, still taxes, he has to have a license, state wants to know he's there. So I think it is something that...
Because for the one business there, the one gentleman does use his own address as his business registration. He's just using that as a growing facility for the trees.
Yeah, but there's no trees.
There's no trees.
There's no trees except for those big ones that aren't. You have to go out there and take a look.
They're mature trees that he
Are big
planted,
trees.
you know.
That you can't even see the building because they're all green now. That's covered up. Come winter time, everything's bare and you can see this building from Hadley. And you can see it from Parker. Everything on Parker where we live is mostly horse property. And when I brought my property, that's what they were saying. It's either going to be a farm or it's going to be horses in it. No businesses.
Do you mind giving your address, so if we were to visit?
I got it.
Oh, you
Oh, you got it. So we're not just pulling down right from
Right.
driveway.
Just go up my driveway. You come by at 6 o'clock in the morning, you'll be able to see everything going on.
Joe, what?
Notwithstanding that they're not licensed, isn't a landscaping business allowed on an ag piece of property? Is it a certain size or?
It's not ag land.
If it's
They
zoned
can't-
ag though?
It's not anymore. Contact
Okay, so we need to check
tax
the zoning
assessor.
on it first and just clarify that, because if it's not zoned ag, then you can't run landscaping.
And that's one of the questions that I can't get anybody to answer. What constitutes ag? How long can you go without planting before it gets reverted back to rural residential, let's say? It's been 17 plus years and nobody has planted
I don't think
anything.
it does revert back to what it was prior or to something else, is whether you're planting or not, it's just the way it is zoned currently. And if it is zoned currently as ag, and he's running landscaping, he does, like the mayor mentioned, he doesn't register with the state in the village, and he needs to comply with light laws as well. But if his land is zoned agricultural, that is part of the agricultural zoning, is that a landscaping business can't be run there.
So who here is in charge of zoning? Who can I talk to about zoning a piece of land that was farmed 25 years ago and never farmed again since? They've taken all of our tax money, you know, an acre of land that's farmland, I'm going to pick a number, $100.
Right, it's low.
A residential piece of property is 1,000? Yeah. So times 17 years, there's 5 acres, $900 a year. It's a lot of money we're losing.
Well,
Because somebody doesn't seem to be checking in on what's supposed to be done with these vacant pieces of land.
has anyone ever talked to the tax assessor?
The
I
township-
did.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
And what did the township say?
She said that the size of that building, he ain't hiding anything. And she said that I think that it was going to go, since the size of it, that it was going to go, it's considered a commercial building.
It's gigantic.
Well,
Because she was even, couldn't figure out, what does he need such a big building? She said, I've never seen ceilings that high.
And that's where they can get
And it's got an
semis.
office or a house, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we can look into the zoning for you, but if it's
I've talked to the owner, I could contact him again, and request an inspection of the building and see exactly what he's got going on in there.
And I would say we should get hold of Karen and have her take a look at it, or have her people go out and look at it, because if it doesn't belong there, it doesn't belong there.
Yeah, I mean, you have a
Well, it's the use of one.
giant building to maintain 44 trees that are so mature that you can't move them and sell them. It's like they're pulling a shade over somebody, and we don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want
Little
to.
by little, things that else are coming up,
Yeah.
you know?
They're
And it's
having
proper.
bigger piles of dirt, more trucks are coming in and out.
They don't build the roads for that kind of equipment for that much usage. So that's,
You should see, there's a backhoe that you use to dig foundations.
And the other thing is that I'm building a garage at my house, and it's in front, but they said they couldn't have a detached garage on there. But this guy next door's got a front loader that he just moved to the back a little to hide that, and piles of stone and dirt in the front. So that gets scooped up, tossed into the trucks in the morning, and then they're gone. Or they come back later on and get some more. Yeah, I'm retired, so I can sit here all day and watch them and take pictures and so on and so forth, which I had. Because it just ain't right.
that would be wasting your time, because nothing's going to happen from that. I will call the assessor's office tomorrow and see what we can do. Joe can take a look and see what's,
I'll get inside the building and I'll reconfirm what the zoning is on the property.
Have you ever been inside that building?
I-
Right, because even the tax assessor went out there and they're looking at it and she just started to see it, and then all of a sudden he's going like, you gotta get off my property. So even she was impressed about the size of it.
I'll make a phone call to the assessor's office tomorrow.
I do have one other question too. Originally, you have Rich's house, you have a piece of property that's got a bunch of trees on it, and then you have the property in question with the building. Originally, when that was sold, I'm just going to say 3 years ago, I'm not sure, it was one piece of property, one solid lot. And again, when we first bought our land, we were told we cannot subdivide any of these plots. Somehow they were able to subdivide that larger piece of land into these two smaller ones.
It went up for auction, and when it was sold, or being sold, it was sold as one big lot. Then all of a sudden, it ended up split up. The property that we're talking about, that's 5 acres, the other part is 7 acres.
And they're both zoned ag?
Pardon me?
They're both zoned ag?
I think so, I don't know, farm, whatever, it says farm on the thing.
I believe so.
So if, let's just say we contact tax assessors and they say, what constitutes farmland? And she said, well, you know, you have to have farmed it for 3 years and then it can revert back to farmland. Or they say, well, after 5 years of doing nothing, because we know that the state will pay farmers not to farm. We have land, other farmland that we have, and we have to do a census every 3 years, I think, and it's big hacking. So if the tax assessor says, well, it has to have been farmed in the last 5 years, which we know it hasn't, who's in charge of telling them they can't do what they're doing?
Assessor's office.
George, you're wrong on that, because I've been just arguing with the assessor and the township, and they both say if it's in the village, it's the village's responsibility to get the zoning proper, and then send it to them, then they'll do something about it.
That's what Will County told me. He said that it's in our district, but it's up to the village to do what they gotta do. They have their rules set for that.
Who else has been out there doing
We've had the engineering department out there, code enforcement, so we've all been out there.
it? And what did they come up with?
Some of the same issues, there's been some drainage issues out there.
Yeah.
Like I said, because it's agricultural property and they're growing trees, that's under our ordinances.
Like I said, if they're all full size trees that you can't even put your arms around.
Well, no, they're about that big around.
Well,
And they're 25, 30 feet tall.
They're about as big as those right there.
There's rows
They're
and rows
big.
of trees that have been.
Yeah, they're planted nice and everything else like that, but, you know.
Yeah, it looks like a nursery.
It looks nice, yeah, let's not complain about
And they
that.
are for harvesting the trees.
See, there's,
we'll see what we can do.
and there's another problem that, and it's Rich's property, is that they've been backfilling their land, which is now putting the watershed onto Rich's land.
My property.
Yeah, they've done that up in the front, and we have photos that you can, aerial, that you can see exactly where they filled in. And when we talked to engineering, she said, well, it only looks like 1 or 2 inches, it's not a big deal. But it's actually about a foot. If somebody would do
The guy,
a core
well,
sample.
Rick told me, he said, he goes, man, we put a foot in there, we thought that we could have stopped it. But, see, my property, this property's here, my property goes like that, right? So he raised that up to here, now the water comes down, now it goes up this way. And you can see where it killed all my grass. And I told him, I said, look, I don't care what you do on your property, but if I get water, I'm coming up here. Because I had never had water on my property at all.
And then they filled a ton in the
And
back.
they took off the top layer of soil in the back. And then came back with clay and threw that on top of that. You can go out there and take a look.
And across the back, all of the properties here, including mine, it gets damp in the back. Well, that's where he built his building, so he raised the whole back up too.
Let me talk to Karen tomorrow and see. And then Joe, you can look at the
I got your contact information.
I've got your phone numbers here, so
Right.
I'll give you a call.
Thank you, sir.
And if you can do to help, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
I do have one more question. When does the pizza come?
It was here 45 minutes ago. Where were you?
I was here at 6:10.
Yeah, actually you were.
I was the first one here.
All right, Lynn McGarry.
Hi, Lynn McGarry for the Chamber of Commerce, letting you know we're out of our building, we're homeless. We are negotiating for a new place. In the meantime, we're the guests of Ruby Agave. But the phone number works, the email works, so, and you can always call me. Second thing was at the township meeting the other night, they have been getting calls from residents who have gotten a phone call saying, I can help you lower your taxes. I know Karen, I know Pam, we can get something done, and asking for money up front. So this is a new scam, and I really don't know any more details on that, but nobody else brought it up, so I did want you to know that was happening. And that's all. Thank you very much. Oh, and thanks for coming to the golf outing. It was a big success and a nice day.
Okay. Legislation, is there a motion to approve the appointment of Don Mitchell to serve as chairman of the village's planning commission? It is understood that Mr. Mitchell's appointment is for 1 year. We do these separate, or do we convene these all as one?
This is the old one?
Well, I think it's separate.
That's the old one though, Mayor.
Yes.
This is the wrong one. If you want, my copy.
No, I've got it. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the appointment of Don Mitchell to serve as chairman of the
Still
village?
the old one? Shouldn't have done.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. We're keeping Don.
We're keeping
But
it.
he's just still on his 3 years.
No, he's still chairman. He was chairman for the year. We're going to update him for the...
Chairman for,
Just today.
Yeah. Apparently, government was asking what needs to.
So, is there a motion to approve the appointment of Don Mitchell to serve as chairman of the village's plan commission? It's understood that Mr. Mitchell's appointment is for 1 year.
I so move.
Trustee Sweet?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Yes. Is there a motion to appoint Jerry Young to the planning commission? It is understood that Mr. Young's appointment will run from now until May 31st, 2021.
So,
Gray.
Second.
Trustee Varian. Discussion.
Yes, Mayor, I think Mr. Young is in the audience. I think we should hear from him on why he wants to be on the Plan Commission, or give us a little inside information about you.
Don't worry, Jerry.
I was really here for the pizza.
I
was waiting for it.
My name is Jerry Young. I've been a resident of the village of Homer Glen for 15 years. Been a pretty much active member, served on the PTL for the Goodings Grow for 4 years as treasurer. I've been on some of the committees here with the village, Park and Rec, and Economic Development. My work background, currently right now I'm a business manager, manage a specialty medical practice in Orland Park. Been doing that for about 3 years now. Before that, most of my career I've been in a banker, so commercial lender. So I've been involved in development, financing, been involved in construction projects. I've been talking to the mayor and Mike about getting on the planning commission for probably about 2 years now. So I'm thankful to be considered for appointment. You know, as far as background, I think I bring some insight with my work background, you know, development. And I actually talked to BJ and Kyle today, getting ready for tomorrow's meeting. Already just went out and took a look at the properties. So I'm ready to go. So the appointment until 2021, I'll be a proud member of the Planning Commission. Look forward to representing the village of Homer Glen and look forward to your approval tonight. So thank you. Thanks.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is there a motion to reappoint Glen McGarry to the Planning Commission. It is understood that Mr. McGarry's appointment will be from now until May 31st, 2021.
So moved.
I'll second.
Gabriel, Frankie, discussion. So you're one of the longest standing people for the Planning Commission right now. Who are you? Is there any discussion of it?
Well, she's been on the Plan Commission. Jerry was the new person, so I'm fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to reappoint Kevin O'Donnell to the Planning Commission? It is understood that Mr. O'Donnell will serve from now until May 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Trustee Rogers,
A second.
Gabriel, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the following committee appointments? All appointments are for the period of 1 year. Appointment of Mayor Yukich, Trustee Carl Caprio, Beth Rogers, and Sharon Schweitz. This is for admin and finance.
Also moved.
Trustee Frankie,
Second.
Trustee Gray. Discussion? Have any questions for me? Ready to answer. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Delay the meeting.
The Mayor's Committee and Economic Development Committee, appointments of Mayor Yukich, Trustee Glen, committee members Dan Fleming, Bob Kamen, Jim Warman, Dan Kenny, Jody Alderman, Chris Plasik, and Mike Cordell.
So second. Start.
I
would say Gary and Kevin.
Yeah, Trustee Berry got it, then Gabriel. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Environment Committee, appointments of Chairperson Trustee Sharon Schweitz, and committee members Margaret Single, Cynthia Rataj, Kathy Cumla, Bob Moses, Randy Churis, Gary White, Joe Jerese, Nancy Carlson, and Andy Pinelli.
So moved.
I'll second.
Trustee Cambria, Troy, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Parade Festival Committee. Committee members, Trustee Caprio, Trustee Gray, Crystal Casius, Todd Fanfara, and Sue Steiner.
I so moved.
Trustee Squeeze. Second. Trustee Murray. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Park and Recreation Committee, appointments of co-chairperson, Christine Knightsky-Trikey, Trustee Beth Rogers, and co-chairman Sharon Swees. And Dale members Dale Jansen, Cassandra Corcoran, Ed Cryer, Bob Kamen, Russell Mack, Regina Robinson. Yeah, I know. It was supposed to be in. So. In case one of you can't make it,
We're gonna have 3.
sure it's not gonna be it, just in case someone of Joe wants to be able to.
I'm gonna withdraw. Consideration.
Okay. All right,
Does this have to be appointed today?
okay.
Let's go on report.
Yeah. Committee members Dale Jensen, Cassandra Cartwright, Ed Cryer, Bob Kamen, Russell Mack, Regina Robinson, John Walters, and Mark Gabriel.
I'm gonna have a motion.
I guess that's not going to happen. Okay, we'll figure out what we're doing then. Mayor's Public Services Safety Committee. Appointments of Chairperson Trustee Keith Gray. Committee members Crystal Casius, Homer Township Road District Representative, Homer Township Fire Protection District Representative, Northwest Homer Fire Protection District Representative, the Will County Sheriff's Office Representative, the Development Services Department of Representation, and the EMA representative.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That's it for that. Is there a motion to assign a Class B liquor license, temporary license to Assumption Greek Orthodox Church located at 15625 South Bell Road, home of Glen, for the Greek for a Day Festival occurring on July 20th and July 22nd, 2018?
I so moved.
Trustee Sweet.
I'll second.
Trustee Cambrio, discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet? Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Knightsky-Trikey?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to recommend approval of Tria's Architecture?
Excellent. We remove that one.
Oh, that's right. Is there a motion to approve pay estimate number 5 from Patnick Construction, Inc. for the 2017 Drainage Improvement Project number 2, various locations, in the amount of $85,741.26.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Varian, Trustee Trady. Discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Knightsky-Trikey?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, Austin Tyler Construction. Is there a motion approving pay estimate number 4 from Austin Tyler Construction, Inc. for Phase 1 of Heritage Park project in the amount of $561,041.69?
So moved.
Second, trustee Gray, trustee Cavalier. Discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy.
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barron?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Cavalier?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to accept the bid proposal from Alicio and Sons Company for the construction of Phase 2, 319 grant of the Heritage Park project in the amount of $1,196,592.50?
I so move.
Please, a second. Mr. DiCaprio, discussion.
Mike, maybe you can just reiterate what we discussed today and relative to this contractor and the bid.
Basically, just to give a little bit of a summary, this is part of the work will be, previously we had done a study, a drainage study for the Woodbine area, so part of this work will incorporate the drainage improvements for that area and also improvements for the property out here as far as wetlands and things of that nature. The village was successful in obtaining a 319 grant with the amount that would be paid would be, maximum would be $521,704. The contractor for this, all contractors that were bidding on this project were pre-approved by IDOT, and this work is anticipated to start very shortly.
And the initial estimated cost was?
The original amount that we had in the budget was, I believe, is about $1,526,000.
So we came in significantly lower.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or concerns? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy?
Aye.
Trustee Barron?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Cavalier?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business?
Mayor, just real quick, on the Parks and Rec appointment, I believe that's time sensitive, right? I mean,
No.
I don't believe I think the plan commission is the only one that's time sensitive. The other committees, I think, stand pat until they're reappointed.
so they can continue to meet?
Yes, the plan commission is the one that had a date of May 31st, but we rescheduled the meeting till tomorrow. That's sufficient.
Any other old business? Is there any new business? Next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for purposes of discussing personnel and activity?
So moved.
Trustee Gray,
Second.
trustee Rogers. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Cavalier?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Barron?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to be in executive session for